Hello, dog culture reviewers. So, check this one out. Have you guys ever checked out what's going on with little local farms in America? Um, what I mean by this is like people that raise chickens or cows and they raise these animals on their own property for eggs or for meat or for dairy products. And they have to go through a lot of financial hoops in order to get legitimized, to get legal, and stuff like that. I mean, the discussion about this is huge. But have you guys ever looked at this as far as looking at the dog culture? Well, I have, and I want to share some of it with you guys. So here's a video from Sheraton Park Farms. And this guy is talking about how they try to take away people's rights to raise chickens. So let me share a little bit about what he has to say.
Stephen Richardson said. We didn't get into the design in the ordinance, so it does open us up to people who may not be as, said Rufus, who stopped mid-sentence and laughed, referring to Commissioner Christina Rufus. I think I'm saying that name correctly. It would get really complicated if we tried to come up with building standards for chicken coops. A little later in the story, it says, my concern is somebody might have a $500,000 house and the person next door takes a shell sign and nails 4 2x4s together and calls it a chicken house, Kaiser said. I'm assuming Kaiser is also one of their county commissioners or board of supervisors, whatever they call them over there. In response, the commission's chairman, Bill Gibson, made a reference to the lead character of the Beverly Hillbillies TV show. I guess if Jed Clampett moved in and could buy a $500,000 house, that might happen, Gibson said. So what I take from that is...
Okay, so this man is reading the script from a county get together where they talk about chicken farmers. And it's clear that they're kind of talking negative about chicken farmers, and they're trying to relate chicken farmers to like somebody that would nail a bunch of 2x4s together to a stolen street sign. So they're trying to belittle chicken farmers. They're trying to like classify chicken farmers as Beverly Hillbillies, as this guy talks about later on. And he's not making this up. He's reading direct from a transcript from the county commissioners, whatever they get together and talk about. Um, so that's kind of interesting. That's kind of like, I mean, that's kind of funny because this makes me think about what do we see when a story comes up about cane corsos, pit bulls, German shepherds, all these dog breeders and dog owners that have properties, and then adjacent to those properties, joggers and mountain bikers and little kids are constantly being attacked. So let's go to one of those properties. Female jogger in critical condition after being mauled by 2 pit bulls. Okay, you can pretty much inject anything. Female jogger, you could inject children on the way to the bus stop. You could inject local mountain bikers, local street bikers that want to go for like a bike ride into this type of situation. And look at how dog owners live. So you want to go out there and make out as if chicken farmers are some kind of hickerbilly, redneck, Beverly Hillbillies slapping stuff together with 2x4s. Well, okay, fine. Go ahead and prove it. But the whole thing is, in the meanwhile, you're allowing pit bull owners to live like this while they kill and maim your fellow citizens. Your fellow citizens that are out spending their money and supporting your community. Like, look at these type of properties that are associated with dog owners. dog breeders, or people that foster dogs under 501c3 tax shelters. This is your tax money at work, there, people. A guy wants to have several chickens and raise eggs to feed his family and sell some eggs on the side to feed his fellow humans in the community. You're going to go after that person and belittle that person and call them a Beverly Hillbilly. Meanwhile, you're going to allow dog owners to live like this. Dog owners that allow their dogs to kill and maim their fellow citizens. Fellow citizens that are just out spending their hard earned money recreating in the neighborhood, riding their bikes, motorcycles, cars, hanging out with their kids, going for a walk to the park. They're getting attacked and killed. And guess where the dogs that attack and kill those kids and women and children live? Yep, they live in neighborhoods like this. Go ahead and look up any dog attack across America. If you look at the home that is associated with the dog attack, this is the home, this is the type of home that you will see. Yet, a person that wants to raise a few cattle, raise some chickens, you're going to sit there and belittle them and make references to them about Beverly Hillbillies. Wow, people. The dehumanizing level of activity that happens within dog culture, it spiderwebs out into everywhere else in our society. So let's have a little bit more time with our guy from Sheraton Park Farms.
These skinny jean wearing folks think that if you keep chickens or you raise chickens, that you are less sophisticated, less cultured, less educated than they are. And they feel the entitlement to be able to tell you that no, you cannot raise chickens on your property to slaughter and eat. It's just the whole thing is just,
So isn't that interesting? They are kind of putting this thing out there of if you're raising chickens, you're just some kind of unsophisticated fool. Go to the store and buy chickens. Quit raising chickens on your property. Quit butchering your chickens on your property. However, they will allow, guess what they will allow? They will allow pit bull owners to butcher little kids on their property. Oh, yes, people will allow their dogs to kill senior citizens, black people, white people, fat people, short people, young people, little kids on their property are killed by pit bull dogs and other dogs. And what are these county commissioners and other lawmakers doing about it? Well, they put the pit bulls off in a rescue and the pit bulls get adopted out to another freaking family. Yet, a dude like this, he can't live within city limits and raise chickens. Now, of course, this guy's situation, if you watch his video, he lives out where some of these rules that he's talking about don't apply. But at the end of the day, if this guy got reported by somebody, they would come out there and try to take his chickens away from him. But if a bunch of pit bulls came on his property and killed his chickens, they wouldn't do anything about it.
like I talked about in the cow video, this is an assault on our freedoms. This is an assault on our ability to raise our own food, feed our own families, know where our food is coming from, and create undue burden on folks that are just simply trying to feed their family well and opt out of this commercialized food system that we're in.
So that is this guy's point about all of this, and that's very valid. He has the right to raise chickens. And another thing that's interesting about this whole story of this guy, let me rewind and show you something.
To the farm is a cold and blustery night here in western North Carolina. We've got a front coming through. Been nice the past couple of days, but the wind has really picked up and the temperatures have taken a dive this afternoon. So I came up to the shop. I built a fire here for the dogs.
Did you hear that? He built the fire for his dogs. Now, I'm not trying to rip on this guy, but his sentiment, his love of dogs, it overall it affects him and it affects other chicken farmers. If you think about the people in the tax offices that look at the permits that are submitted by this guy and other guys, if it's a permit to have a bunch of sheds to raise shelter dogs, those people in the county will probably be like, oh my God, I love puppies just like he loves puppies. Let's start a fire for little puppies. They will do everything they can to push his permits through to allow him to shelter a bunch of dogs with a tax credit. They will allow him to do that. However, if he puts in a bunch of permits to raise chickens, a lot of the people that are in those tax offices and commissioner offices, they will sit there and, like he mentioned, like what I told you earlier, they will sit there and be like, oh, chicken farmers, that's that redneckerson hillbilly dumb shit. Do, that's like they're gonna be like Beverly Hillbillies. So if he wants to raise a bunch of dogs and get tax credits for it, he's incentivized to do that. And the people in the tax offices will probably sit there and play along with the dog worship. However, if he wants to raise chickens to feed himself and help feed his fellow humans, he's going to be able to sell some eggs and meat to his fellow humans. The people in those tax offices and those county commissioners and everything else, they're going to look down on him. So this shows, like, overall how dog culture hurts the person that wants to help the fellow humans and uplifts the person that wants to hurt fellow humans. And these little farms and other stuff like that, they're a perfect example of what's going on.